again, you can cheer Hwasin on and you pick him to win. Draw gets the winner right over here on the red side in the bucket. All right, in the blue corner, all the way from Poland, we have Dreiven. This is Dreiven's first appearance, too, but he beat the #1 non-Korean player, Draco, in the Poland national final, and he actually may have a chance. He made it to the WCG 2007 Grand Final stage. Put your hands together, all the way from Poland, Dreiven! Good luck to both of you gentlemen. Again, you got 5 minutes into the match to pick who you think is going to win, red or blue. I'm going to toss it to two of the best commentators working the circuit today, DJ Wheat and Tasteless. Gentlemen, you ready to call this match?
We were born ready.
Ladies and gentlemen, are you ready to root your players on? Let's get this match started. We'll be back as soon as we have a winner.
Hwasin versus Dreiven up here on stage. Tasteless, you said that we were born ready, and you couldn't be more right. We got some StarCraft here for the World Cyber Games 2007 Grand Finals. It is day number 2, and the action is already very, very hot.
Oh, absolutely, and I think it's going to get even hotter with this game, Marcus. These are two really interesting players. Hwasin, the monster Terran from Korea, is really good, and then we've got Dreiven, the guy who beat Draco in the Polish final.
I'm really excited to see Draco has always done very, very well. Even outside of the World Cyber Games, he's definitely placed his mark in other competition. He's been invited to some of these special Blizzard events. He's certainly not a pushover by any means, but Hwasin is a player who, right now obviously has not only a lot of crowd support here, but is dominant in the Korean scene, at least in the World Cyber Games capacity.
Oh, absolutely. And I also think even to take it even a step further for these two players to make this game interesting is the map. But actually, I'm gonna not talk about the map for just a second because we're getting a shot of the player. He did win WCG Korea. That is no small feat. And you know what? He very may win the World Finals. It's Hwasin, the monster Terran. He's probably one of the newer players that you'll see on the StarCraft scene. But that does not make him bad. That just makes him very progressive in this game.
It also brings like a new level of strategy and metagame to StarCraft. Anytime a new player is introduced, which by the way, there's no easy feat in itself. Trying to introduce yourself into a pool of players that has years and years and years of experience. Now, granted, a guy like that almost grew up watching guys like Yellow, guys like Mantra, etc. His opponent, Dreiven, he beat out Draco, in the Poland WCG Nationals. He took first place. He's going to be playing as the Protoss, and we're going to have ourselves a nice Terran versus Protoss matchup. We're going to talk about the map here in just a moment, but we're going to have a nice matchup between Korea and Poland here up on the main stage.
Oh, definitely. And again, remember, this guy beat Draco, and Draco basically is the #1 foreigner right now. There might be some disputes about that, but Draco has been a pro gamer in Korea, and training down there, so beating him is no small feat. And if he can beat Draco, he very well could beat this player. Now let's take a look at this map. This map is very complicated. It's a very vexing map to play on. It's not a map that a dude could ever have an easy game on. The big thing about Neo B2 is that there's all these small entrance points in the middle of the map, so tanks and other larger units like Dragoons do not fit through the middle, so it really affects how you're going to open up and whether or not you can rush. Also, the expansions, there's a lot of expansions that are very difficult to attack at, so it could be a pretty long game. I also find carriers to be very strong on this map.
That's what I was going to ask you. A map like this, certainly, it means that, transporting your troops from one area to the next has got to be somewhat important. They're telling us the match is getting ready to start. Folks, we got Korea versus Poland up here on the main stage. Guess the winner, turn it in, and win yourself some prizes on DJ Wheat Cases. The match is about to begin. StarCraft matchup. We've got Hwasin versus Dreiven, Korea versus Poland up here on the main stage. And we've got ourselves a very special guest. That's right, the Storm Observer himself, Tasteless Master StarCraft commentator. I'm DJ Reed. I'm going to play the role of a newbie because I'm learning something new every day. Are you excited, Tasteless?
I am very excited. I think this is going to be a great game.
This is also the last day of group play. Tomorrow we'll begin the bracket play where all of the matchups up here on stage will actually be best of 3. And it does add a little bit more to the match. In group play, everything is one map and then you're done. So in a matchup like what we saw in the last map where it was literally like a 5-minute game, you know, that would have been accompanied by new strategies, etc. But we're inside the game now, Tasteless. And let's talk about starting locations and what we've got here starting out.
We're inside the game, and we're about to go beyond the game as I talk about what these players are probably going to open up with. Okay, so we've got our Protoss friend Dreiven is at the bottom corner of the map. Meanwhile, Hwasin is spawned as a yellow Terran at the top. Now this is a 2-player map, so they automatically know where the other player is through the process of elimination. So that may affect their scouting patterns. A few minutes to really see how this game's going to play out. But again, remember, the middle area on the map, large units cannot fit through, so that will impact their decision making as this game goes on. It's going to be very difficult for them to engage each other directly early on.
Hwasin playing as the yellow Terran in the 1 o'clock position. That's the northeast corner. Dreiven as the blue Protoss in the southwest corner. The first pylon going up right now here for the Protoss player. And the first scout probably going to head out now. Nope, not quite yet. Players are not quite ready. Now, why is that, Tasteless? They focus a lot on their main base before they're scouting on this map. Is that because it's a 2-player map? Or is, yeah?
Yeah, it generally is. You know, if you know where your opponent is, then you just time out exactly how late you can scout them before they will have something to block the ramp up. That way you can gather a few more minerals. It looks like at this point in time, Dreiven is going to send his first probe out here. Wants to get a good idea of what's going on. There's one of Dreiven's fans, 2 of them right there, cheering him on. And at this point in time, okay, so the probe's gone in there. He's going to take a look. He wants to see what his opponent's. Whoa, look at Hwasin's micro with that SCV. Easy, Hwasin. Look at this. He's actually.
He does not want to let that probe through, obviously. And he's doing a great job there. Pushes him all the way back to the ramp. And that SCV, he is holding it down in the base of Hwasin right there.
That was some really good control. Now, both players are opening up in a standard way. They each got their gas geysers early on because, you know, in a matchup like this, Protoss can't do it that much with Zealots, and Terran can't do that much with Marines. So they're going to get the bare minimum, and they're just going to check from there. Now, the Wallen's up, so Dreiven will not actually have the opportunity to scout his opponent. He will not know if he's going to get 2 factories, maybe fast expand, or a starport with that. So right now, Dreiven's kind of in the dark, and as we can see, Hwasin kind of sent in that scouting SCV, and he's going to take a look at what his opponent's doing. He's doing his normal build so far, and he's going to respond the way he feels is the best.
Now, not letting that probe through and seeing the build of Hwasin, how important do you think? Like, you know, for a player that's unfamiliar with StarCraft, seeing you control around a little worker unit may not be as important, but that's actually a very drastic measure that was taken there to prevent sort of your. It's almost like holding five cards in a game of poker and someone just looking over your shoulder and seeing what cards you have. By that SCV stopping that probe, it's like keeping your hand secret.
Absolutely, and right now, Dreiven cannot really hide that much. As we see, Hwasin already knows that he's getting that Dragoon range, and that's pretty standard opening. Now the worker's been driven out. Or should I say, Dreiven out.
Oh, that was a good one, Tasteless, right there. Dragoon now going to stay on the ramp here just outside of the base of Dreiven. And it looked like that SCV was actually going to go just north of Draven's base. We're going to find out what he's going to do. Some Vulture bikes coming out. We got the first factories up as well. And I do not believe that probe was ever able to go in there and scout anything going on in the base of Hwasin. And And so he is now going to make his way around. You can see he's spreading out some SCVs, whether that's going to be for expansion or just to make sure there's not anything tricky going around. Tasteless, other than that, in build orders and what we're looking at with the various buildings on both sides of the bases, do you see anything else outside of a typical start here for a Terran versus Protoss matchup on this map?
Well, but one thing I want to point out right away is that Hwasin made that Vulture Bite first and then scouted all the logical positions that Dreiven could have hidden an early Robo Bay or another gateway. So he wants to play very safe. As we saw in that previous game, a lot of the corners want to do these quick win strategies and just try to out control or make one good move early on to beat the Koreans, which is not a bad way to play at all. There are Draven's fans again, cheering him on, loving his Dragoons and stuff. And it looks like I don't know, so far it's been a pretty typical opening with the exception of that early Vulture Bike. Right now Hwasin's playing really, really well this game, I think. I think his opener's been pretty safe. And as you can see, he's sending another scouting SCV out that way. He wants to make sure that there's absolutely no hidden buildings, nothing that he's not going to be prepared for here.
First
Fast
Expo
Expo
is going to come out for Hwasin. Also noticed, and not sure if it's still the case, but over here just northwest of what we're seeing right here, northeast, there is about 4 or 5 Dragoons that are basically trying to block that ramp there leading in. Robotic support coming out as well, some more upgrades inevitable for these two players, specifically for Dreiven. And it looks like some Z-Shakes will actually come out right away. And I noticed that he put a couple up on the ridge. He'll probably keep those in seeding mode to use his defensive units. Would that be accurate?
Yeah, that would be a wise decision. I also saw Dreiven throw a pylon really quickly down where that command center was going to land, just to buy a few seconds of time, to try to get ahead of his opponent. Every second counts in a game like StarCraft, a game where you have, 300 actions per minute going on. Every move counts. You want to get as much ahead of your opponent as possible. And that's probably why Draven's going to get a Reaver right now with the shuttle. He's going to use that Reaver to first of all force his opponent to spend money on towers that can fight that off, and also he's going to try to use that to pick off SCVs.
Now he's got a tower in the north part of his base, a tower in the west part of his base. It looks like another one's going in over near the south, and then also up north, just in case there's any sort of backdoor Betty from the northern edge of the map. If you were controlling this shuttle, where would you land it inside the base of Hwasin?
Well, what he's probably going to do, there's a lot of areas he could go. He'd probably go to the one that his opponent would expect east, and that's pretty tough to say. But he'll first check the corners of his base to see if he actually made all these towers. And Hwasin is playing very, very defensively right now. He made more than enough turrets, you can see here, to hold out from most of any kind of harassment that his opponent could throw at him. Meanwhile, Draven's double expanding. Now, one thing that we want to watch for, though, is that he cannot afford at all to lose this Reaver right now, especially if he's double expanding like that. So it's going to be to the utmost importance that he controls this shuttle very well. Now he's going to come in here. He's going to try to do some damage. Can he do it?
Reaver coming into the back. Nice drop right there. And Z-Shakes immediately going to come up from the south. And it was extinguished very, very quickly. Did the shuttle pick him up afterwards?
I think it did. I believe it did. I'm not sure, though. We didn't get a shot of it. But I think, yes, he did actually get a few SCVs with that Reaver and then pick it up. Now, again, he does not want to lose that Reaver in the shuttle, though. That Reaver with the shuttle can be used in combination with those Dragoons to hold off the Terran push for as long as possible.
Defenses continue to be built here for Hwasin, the Terran player in the northeast position. And here is the shuttle now with one Reaver. The Zealots are in there as well. And he's just going to camp out right over here. We've also got some more Dragoons heading out just south of Hwasin's base. So you mentioned that Hwasin was playing a very defensive game, and Dreiven is actually making an effort to be on the offensive here.
Yeah, he's remaining offensive. Now, oh, okay, hold on. It looks like, nice block over there, messing up that Vulture Bike AI, so it can't get up that ramp. He's been trying to get up that ramp, but he put a probe there so that Vulture Bike would get stuck and bounce back. Nice move by Dreiven. Dreiven's doing a good job right now. Also, remember, he's double expanded. Meanwhile, Hwasin, with a single expansion, this is pretty typical for this matchup. But he's going to start massing up his factories, and eventually, when he feels the time is right, he will begin the push. It looks like Dreiven is just focusing on getting a lot of gateways right now. He wants to build up an army that he can use to hold off the push that will inevitably come from Terran. Meanwhile, we see some Reavers positioned very intentionally at that ramp. He does not want to let any vulture bikes get inside of his base. Now here come a few more vulture bikes. They're going to try to run in here, do some harassment, dart by these dragoons, perhaps plant some mines, but no!
Oh, nice.
He definitely blocked that off. Really nice move over there, but this vulture bike is still going through here. Dragoon's going to pick off that mine. Nice timing. And will this vulture bike get anything? He did manage to get 2 probes, but that's still not cost effective compared to how much money he spent on those vulture bikes.
Exactly, and very nice ramp block there, and that's something that you mentioned earlier when we were talking about the map, is that because of those choke points, it'll be very crucial to make sure that you're managing those and watching your opponent's attacks, because you've got to get rid of those, especially as you mentioned. If you try to just AI put a unit past the ramp, then he'll try to find another direction. Reavers are going to discover these 4 vulture bikes that are just north of the base of Dreiven, and they will do some minor damage. Won't take any out. You can see about 10 dragoons now just chilling just south of the base of Hwasin, and we are going to have another expansion going up over here. That's in the far northwest corner for Hwasin, I believe. Yeah, Hwasin. So finally he will join the ranks of a double expand. But it looks like this shuttle may be heading on over, and we might have a Reaver drop over there, while there's really no defending units to help out.
Yeah, okay, and he's going to be very careful. He lost 1 Reaver to a mine, but he did lose that. Hwasin did lose that SCV. Will not be able to construct that expansion. Meanwhile, Hwasin's sending a small army, as you can see on the minimap. There it is. Actually, that's not small at all. That's pretty big. He's sending some tanks up over there. He can use that, but can Dreiven pick off this building command center in time to put Hwasin behind a lot? Hwasin needs to micro these tanks up on the ramp. He's not paying attention. He's going to put that tank. It's not anymore. He killed it. Hwasin is losing tanks right now, and he cannot afford to do that. Dreiven carefully picking that Reaver up. Whoa, we missed some action down there, but apparently he got up some vulture bikes in there and picked off a few probes. I don't know how many probes he got, but that'll impact his economy.
There was quite a few dragoons over there. I'd be surprised if he got any more than 1 or 2 right there. And again, you gotta think that a lot of this game is give and take. Yeah, you could create 1 massive unit or several smaller units and try to take out a few drones, but that doesn't necessarily mean that it's cost effective for you. We just saw what did we just see right here, Tasteless?
Well, it looks like at this point in time, Dreiven's decided that it's an appropriate moment to go for the carriers. Now, whenever Protoss goes for carriers, it's a little bit more of a dangerous move because he has to cut back on how many ground units he's producing. And in that window of time when he's cutting back on those units, he can get pushed and killed. So at this point in time, perhaps because of that expansion on that top left corner of the map, Dreiven said, look, I think at this point in time I can go for the carriers. And carriers are very... hold on. Vulture bikes coming in here right now at Dreiven's expansion. We do not have any defenses there. He cannot afford to lose these workers. Wow. Probes scattering everywhere. Dragoon's in a hurry to get down there and try to do some help. But it is too late, and every probe has been destroyed.
Unbelievable, beautiful, beautiful insertion there. And then the spider mine's going to come out to take away a few of these dragoons as well. I saw at least 2 or 3 of them go down. And now the vulture bikes will spot what is going on over here. And that may be a big, big problem here for Dreiven.
Yes, definitely. This could trigger Hwasin's push right now. All he has to do is send his units down there and start attacking. Meanwhile, Dreiven sending the majority of his dragoons back into the middle of the map to try to get ready for that possibility of a push. Now, there will be 3 carriers popping out very soon here. Now the time has come. Hwasin has decided that he needs to push now because otherwise these carriers could start to multiply, and that could be almost impossible for him to deal with. So there's a lot banking on this push right now, Marcus.
The Dragoons that helped save the expansion or tried to save the expansion in the southeast corner are heading north. They may run into this group. We see a scan right there that will unveil these about 12 Dragoons now, and we're going to have tanks going to siege mode here. Vulture Bike's going to take on the ramp. Reaver comes out from the shuttle, and Reaver's going to focus here on the siege tanks. The dude's going down left and right. Mine's helping out big time with that, and Zealot as well, and this is going to be a big push here by Hwasin now, as we just have a parade of Dragoons trying to save themselves. Tasteless.
Okay, at this point in time, Dreiven is trying to do everything possible to stall the push and force his opponent to siege as many tanks, so that, because those tanks are immobile when they're sieging up. But I think he's doing a fairly sloppy job of that. I think he's losing too many Dragoons. And these tanks and vulture bikes are getting closer and closer and closer to that expansion, which already lost a lot of probes. And it looks like he's cut him off from that expansion. These poor probes will probably die.
Again.
Again.
It looks like he's going to send part of his army down. He's going to put a few siege tanks through the ramp there, put several up top, immediately going after those probes, and it'll just be probe devastation. Carriers are out now. And what would you predict that he is going to try to do with these carriers?
Oh,
just
nice.
take out this army?
Yeah, well, it's interesting. Yeah, he's going to have to use his carriers to take out the army. Now, Hwasin, rather than even attacking that expansion, has immediately gone for the starports, knowing that if his opponent gets too many carriers, it could be game over for him. And he looks like he will be able to get all 3 of these starports. That's going to be very bad for Dreiven, because Dreiven, he's not going to be able to recover. He's already spent the money on the carriers, on the starports, and was not spending that money on the ground army, which he could have been producing out of his gateways. And he will not have this carrier as well. It looks like at this point in time, he's in a very, very bad position, Marcus.
Yeah, Goliath's coming out, and you know what? There's a whole nother wave of Goliaths just waiting to attack any air units that Dreiven might choose to come out. All the starports are now down, and the southeast expansion has been finished off by those siege tanks as well. These Goliaths are going to be very effective against those carriers right there, and they'll probably take out the last one. It looks like there's another one just north of it as well, so we might have had 4 or 5 out, and we are going to have those Goliaths go down. But again, there's a whole nother wave of Goliaths just waiting inside the base of Hwasin, ready to come down. And these siege tanks, these are the original siege tanks from the front line. They're now sieging up over near the main base of his opponent, and they're going to take out these pylons over here. This cannot be good here for Dreiven.
Dreiven is getting he's getting pushed back very far right now. Hwasin is utilizing every position on this map, every unit right now. It started out with Hwasin not doing that well at the start of the game, but now it looks like Hwasin's definitely ahead, even though he will lose that expansion he was making at the middle left. Meanwhile, Hwasin has a lot of units, Marcus, and I don't know what Dreiven is going to do about that.
Yeah, you could see down there on the counter, too, 140 of 190 and 95 of 122. Just by sheer numbers, Tasteless, that he has got an army that can just overtake this in one push. But he's being patient about it. And why is that? Why do you think he's being patient? He's done this attack in waves.
Well, it looks like part of it would be due to the fact that there's a lot of high ground, then low ground, then high ground, then low ground on this map. And like we saw Dreiven attempting to do, that can really force the Terran to siege and unsiege and slow down his push a lot. So he's really trying to time out the moments that he attacks. Otherwise, he can just he can get beaten back too far. Now, Hwasin's going to come up here. He wants to control this high ground area right outside his opponent's base, but it looks like Dreiven has a pretty sizable army right now with a Templar, which could be used for Psystorm if it is casted. And here come these Goliaths. Now again, Terran is in a little bit of a difficult position trying to push up that high ground. It looks like Dreiven might actually push back this attack, Marcus.
Wow, very impressive. He wasn't able to take out one carrier, but in the meantime, those Dragoons pushed up the ramp and took out a lot of Goliaths right there. Now the Goliaths making a push up, tanks and siege in the back line. They will help it take out about 2 or 3 of those Dragoons, and that is the last carrier left. There were 5 carriers from my count that were created by those starports before they finally went down. That's the last one you saw by Intel. He's not doing so good. Psystorm does go down, and the Goliaths do move out of it, but these Dragoons are in a very good position to hold on to this hill and conquer right here.
Well, it's the only hard part about this, though, is those siege tanks are perfectly positioned far away enough so that the Dragoons can't actually hit them.
Right.
I mean, so at this point in time, Dreiven is really doing a good job of macroing, but it looks like it just might not be enough. I don't know. There's too many siege tanks in the back with these siege tanks in the front. And Dreiven right now has lost position of the high ground. That's going to suck for him. Meanwhile, a carrier is over here harassing all these workers that are at Hwasin's expansion. And Hwasin has seemed to be totally neglecting this right now.
Yeah, he snuck that carrier over. That carrier almost went down to that crew of Goliaths that was sent down by Hwasin. But right now, that carrier is doing his last bit of final damage. However, Hwasin has now moved up from that ramp where there was about 20 Dragoons were trying to defend. And now the siege tanks have moved into position. They're going after the Nexus now, and we're going to have one final Psystorm there, and we will have a few Goliaths go down, but I think that there's a whole other army right behind this waiting to assault once all these Dragoons have gone down, and there it is. We're not even going to get to see that army because Dreiven says GG, and he will fall to the Korean player.
man, I gotta say, that was an excellent game. It looked like Dreiven was really in control, but all it took was one slip up. And once those vulture bikes got inside of Dreiven's expansion and he lost those probes, you know, you just cannot afford to lose workers like that.
Would that definitely be what you would consider the turning point of this matchup? The basically extinction of probes at that southeast expansion?
Totally. I think when those probes went down, he also had to send his dragoons back and try to save that. Meanwhile, that gave Hwasin the opening to then send his army on the other side of the map. Because again, remember,
he got his northwest expansion done during that time.
Yeah, exactly. And at that point in time, it's one of those things where it just started to have this snowball effect, and it just started to build up. And even though Hwasin did not start out as strong as I think he could have, he was not phased because, again, he's one of the best. He's he did win WCG Korea. He definitely knows how to stay in control even when he starts out a little bit behind.
Well, and you mentioned early on that he was playing a little bit defensively, but I guess in the grand scheme of things, that actually helped him out in the end game. So we will see Hwasin take the game right there. Coming up next, we've got Kumai versus Fly 100 from China versus Thailand in the Warcraft 3 Group F Full League. Coming up next here on stage.